You have felt it. You are on the couch. You are doing something completely unrelated to your bearded dragon, and you get that feeling. You look over, and they are just staring, not moving, not blinking, locked onto you like they are waiting for you to explain yourself. And here is the thing nobody tells you, that stare means 7 different things, and most keepers assume it means the nicest one. It usually does not. One of the 7 is genuinely serious, and gets missed constantly, and I am going to be very direct with you about that one when we get to it. So here is what we are doing. 7 reasons your bearded dragon is staring at you, ordered from the most common and harmless, to the one you actually need to know about. Then, at number 7, the real answer, the one that changed how I look at my own animals, and honestly, the reason I made this video at all. Let us start with the most likely explanation, and it is not flattering. 1. You are standing between them and the lamp. I want to gently break some news to you. There is a very good chance your bearded dragon is not staring at you. Your bearded dragon is staring at the thing behind you, which is a light, and you are currently a large inconvenient obstacle in the way of it. Bearded dragons are ectothermic. They cannot generate their own body heat, so everything they do, digesting, moving, fighting off infection, thinking, depends on absorbing warmth from outside their body. That makes basking the single most important activity in their entire day. Not a preference, a physiological requirement. So when you park yourself in front of the enclosure with the window behind you, or you stand between them and the basking lamp, you have positioned yourself directly in the path of the most valuable resource in their world. That intense, meaningful gaze you are getting, there is a real chance it is the reptile equivalent of someone standing in front of the TV during the game. Here is how you check. Move. Just step 2 feet to the side and watch what the eyes do. If the stare tracks you, it is about you. If the stare stays exactly where it was, and you are no longer in it, congratulations, you were scenery. I know. Devastating. It gets better. I promise. 2. You are large. You move. And their brain is required to keep track of that. Here is the one most keepers never consider, because it does not feel like it applies to a pet. Your bearded dragon is a prey animal. Not exclusively. They hunt insects. They are predators too. But in the open scrublands of Australia, where they evolved, a bearded dragon is squarely on the menu for birds of prey, monitor lizards, dingoes, and snakes. And an animal that gets eaten regularly evolves one non-negotiable habit. Track every large moving thing in your environment continuously without exception. You are the largest moving thing in that room by an enormous margin, and this is not a reflex. Bearded dragons have a brain structure called the amygdala homologue, the reptile equivalent of the part of your brain that handles fear and threat evaluation. It is not a simplified version. It is evolutionarily continuous with yours, inherited from a common ancestor. When your dragon monitors you, that is actual threat assessment being run by actual threat assessment hardware. So a portion of that stare is simply surveillance, not hostile, not fearful, necessarily. Just an animal doing the thing its nervous system has been refined to do for 250 million years, which is know where the big thing is at all times. And I will be honest, there is something quietly humbling about that. Every time you walk into that room, your dragon does a calculation about you, and every single time, the answer comes back safe. That is not nothing. Hold on to that, because it comes back at the end. You are a vending machine, and they are checking if you are operational. Let us talk about the least romantic and most likely daily driver of the stare. Bearded dragons are exceptional at associative learning. This is well documented. Reptiles demonstrate associative learning, reversal learning, spatial memory, and genuine problem solving across a growing list of species. Your dragon is fully capable of learning that a specific event predicts a specific outcome. And you have taught them one thing above all else. You are where the bugs come from. So they watch you. They watch the door. They watch your hands specifically, because hands are where food originates. Some dragons will lock onto the exact cabinet where the feeders live, which is genuinely funny the first time you notice it, and mildly unsettling the 5th time. Here is the tell. Food-motivated staring comes with body language. Head raised, body lifted slightly off the substrate. Eyes tracking your hands rather than your face. Sometimes a little tongue flick. Sometimes a slow, deliberate approach to the front glass. That is not devotion. That is a customer at a counter, waiting. But, and this matters, this is still a form of recognition. That dragon has learned that you specifically produce food, not humans generally. Which brings us to something more interesting than it sounds. But first I need to tell you about the one that is not harmless, for they are not staring at you at all. Quick one. And it saves people a lot of unnecessary worry. Bearded dragons have a wide field of view and their eyes sit high on the sides of the skull. They can see an enormous arc without turning their head. which means the thing you think they are looking at and the thing they are actually looking at are often two different things. They also have a third eye, genuinely. It is called the parietal eye, that small pale scale on the top of the head between the eyes, and it is a functioning light-detecting organ. It cannot form an image, but it detects light, dark, and the direction light comes from, which makes it a shadow detector pointed straight up. If something crosses a ceiling light in your house, your dragon registers that, and you may read their sudden alertness as being about you. Add reflections. Dragons routinely fixate on their own reflection in enclosure glass, and the reflection of a bearded dragon is a rival bearded dragon as far as they are concerned. That is a real stress source, and it is worth checking whether the stare is aimed at you or at the glass 3 inches to your left. So before you interpret anything, confirm the target. Step aside, change your angle, watch whether the eyes follow. 5. The stare that is not a stare. I need you to actually pay attention to this section. This is the one that gets missed, and it is the reason I structured this video the way I did. There is a difference between a dragon looking at you and a dragon fixed. A normal stare has life in it. The eyes move, the head adjusts, blinking happens. If you move, something tracks you. The animal is engaged with the world even when it is holding still. The concerning version looks like this. Fixed, unbreaking gaze, often angled upward, that does not respond when you move. Sometimes the head is tilted or held at an odd angle. Sometimes it comes with tremors, twitching, jerky movements, a wobble in the gait, or an inability to right themselves. Keepers describe it as their dragon looking at nothing, or staring at the ceiling and not stopping. That cluster is a neurological presentation. In reptiles, it is sometimes referred to as stargazing, and in bearded dragons it can be associated with metabolic bone disease and severe calcium deficiency, with certain infections, with toxicity, with overheating, or with an underlying illness that has progressed further than the owner realized. This is not a behavior problem. It is not personality quirk. It is not something to wait out or troubleshoot with husbandry tweaks over the next few weeks. If your dragon's stare does not break when you move, and especially if you are seeing any tremors, twitching, head tilt, loss of balance, or difficulty walking, that is a reptile vet, and soon. Not a general practice vet, a vet with actual reptile experience, because a lot of practices will politely take your money and guess. I am not saying this to frighten you. The overwhelming majority of staring is items 1 through 4, and if you are watching this because your dragon looks at you a lot, you are almost certainly fine. But this one gets missed for weeks at a time by people who love their animals and just did not know what they were looking at. And metabolic bone disease in particular is far easier to arrest early than to reverse late. Go look at your dragon after this video. Move to one side. See if the eyes follow. 10 seconds. That is the whole check. 6. Nothing else in that room is worth looking at. Now, quick and honest interruption. If this is the kind of thing you want more of, subscribing here actually gets you something specific. This channel does the reading. When the research supports a claim, I will tell you. When it does not, like the stuff online insisting your dragon dreams about you, I will tell you that too, even when the honest answer is less satisfying. I am working through the behaviors one at a time. The head bob, the arm wave, the blackbeard, the glass surfing, what they actually see when they look at you. If you want your dragon decoded properly instead of guessed at, that is what is coming. Subscribe and you will get it. Now, number 6. And this one stings a little. Bearded dragons in enriched, stimulating environments are more active, show fewer
Is it a
stress
nesting
behaviors,
instinct?
and
Or are you
demonstrate
hunting
more
prey?
confident behavior
Maybe-
than dragons in barren, unstimulating ones. Enrichment is not decoration. It measurably changes the animal, so consider the possibility that your dragon stares at you, because you are the only thing happening. If the enclosure is a glass box with a lamp, a dish, a hide, and a flat expanse of nothing, then you, a large, warm, unpredictable, moving object, are the single most interesting stimulus available. That is not affection. That is the only channel on the television. This is genuinely fixable, and it is the cheapest one in the whole hobby. Add climbing branches and elevation, because dragons are semi-arboreal and vertical space changes their entire behavioral repertoire. Add textures and clutter and hides they have to navigate around. Make feeding a hunt, instead of a delivery. Drag the worm, let it dart, let it disappear behind Becker. So they have to track and pursue, rather than accept. Give them things to investigate that are not you. Here is what happens when you do it. The staring reduces, and a lot of keepers find that slightly heartbreaking at first, because it feels like losing something. It is not. A dragon that is busy is a dragon whose needs are being met. And the attention you do get afterward means considerably more, because now it is chosen rather than defaulted to. 7. It is the only expression they have. Here is the part I actually wanted to tell you. Think about how a dog communicates with you. Tail, ears, eyebrows, posture, whining, barking, sighing, an entire orchestra of signals, most of which evolved specifically because we were watching. 20,000 years of living alongside humans shaped an animal that broadcasts constantly. Your bearded dragon has almost none of that. No facial muscles for expression, no tail language, no vocalizations beyond the hiss. Their communication toolkit is a beard that changes color, a head bob, an arm wave, and body posture, and most of that vocabulary is aimed at other bearded dragons, not at you. So when your dragon wants to attend to something, when they are processing you, deciding about you, waiting on you, there is almost nothing available to express that with, except looking. The stare is not fiction. I told you that in the title, and I meant it. But it is attention. It is an animal with an extremely limited expressive range, directing the one channel it has at you. And the tension is the raw material trust is built out of. Every stare that ends with nothing bad happening is a data point. That is habituation, real, documented learning. And it is how a wild animal, which is exactly what your bearded dragon still is, arrives at the conclusion that you specifically are safe. Because that is the thing worth sitting with. Your dragon is not domesticated. Dogs have 20,000 years of coevolution behind them. Captive bearded dragons have roughly 32 odd generations, which is nowhere near domestication. Tame does not mean domesticated. Tame means habituated. It means this animal, personally, over months, learned you. Out of every large moving thing that has ever entered that animal's world. And its nervous system is built to assume all of them are lethal. You are the exception it made. And there is one more signal. The one that tells you the process worked. It is not the stare. It is the opposite of the stare. It is when they close their eyes. Because a prey animal does not shut down its threat detection system next to something it has not cleared. When your dragon sits in your hands and lets its eyes drift shut, that is the single strongest statement it is capable of making. The staring is them watching you. The closed eyes are them done watching. That is the whole relationship, right there. And you earned it. So, go check the stare. Move to one side. See if the eyes follow. Make sure it breaks. And tell me in the comments, does your dragon close their eyes when you hold them? Drop a yes or a no and your dragon's name. I read every single one. And if you want the rest of the behaviors decoded the same way, subscribe. The beard is next.